problem with this move?
I think it's a typical Colt move. I mean, here's a team that needed a franchise quarterback. There were two out there. They have a chance at two. They don't take them. They end up coming back into the picture to get Trent Dilfer. They take an outside linebacker, not even a true outside linebacker. Somebody has to learn coverage in Trev Alberts. They have Coriat, they have Harad. They do have a hole that developed with the release of Dwayne Bickett. But to pass up a Trent Dilfer when all you have is Jim Harbaugh, give me a break. That's why the Colts are picking second every year in the draft, not battling for the Super Bowl like other clubs in the National Football League.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper? My neighbor has more credentials than Mel Kiper, and my neighbor's supposed.
What do you want to cover first, our players?
Well, good morning, everybody. I don't know that it'll be morning when you see this because I am out and about, but good morning, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman. We had a great live stream last night. I would say rise and grind to the people that are working today because I'm not working and it's Sunday. A lot of people are working, but there is some people out there, so rise and grind. If you're working today, hope this video hits home a little bit. You can kick back. Shedeur Sanders. We talked about him last night on the 2-hour Zoom call. It was a spirited Zoom call. Momo's a trip. Momo is 100% Commanders, and that's fine. Yeah, I welcome all points of view. I mean, we're there to kind of shake them back to reality. But hey, Momo's living in his world, and he's living good. So, congrats to Momo. But we were talking about at the top of the draft. I have not done my 4.0. I may do it today. I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. I think I need to kind of wake up more. I'm just not. We need to go out and do a couple errands. But make this a short video. Shedeur Sanders. We talked about how it's going to go. We're hearing rumors. Now, why would Cleveland be reaching out? Why would Cleveland be reaching out to Dion to have a sit down with him? The Browns sat down with Dion, the father of Shedeur, right? And now we're hearing all the negative BS coming out. Again, do not listen to a lot of it. I'm not here to say Shedeur Sanders is going to be the next Warren Moon. But what I'm going to tell you is he's a good quarterback. You know, the nature of the beast, no pun intended, Dane Burglar, is that the quarterbacks get elevated through the process. By what, everybody? I'll wait for it. By what? It's called need. Teams who, you know how I feel about Dak. I really like Dak Prescott. I root for Dak Prescott, obviously. He's a quarterback on my football team that I've rooted for since I was a little guy. Right? I'm not here to make blanket statements. Dak can't do this. Dak can't do that. He has won a couple playoff games. Not enough. Nowhere near enough. Has come up short, not once but twice, in my opinion, against the Bang Bang 49er gang. Yes. Everything else, I kind of don't put it on him. But you know how I feel about Dak. And I believe, and this name was also brought up last night, Quincy Carter. Remember that name. Remember when Aikman retired a little too soon? Aikman retired too soon for me. Absolutely too soon. Should not have retired. But he was beaten, broken, battered. All right, hon, get the Telluride in gear. I know it's Sunday, but you're driving around in a family truckster. Let's move it along a little bit. Anyway. We went from quarterback purgatory. Rumor was true, by the way, Eagle fans. Aikman was asked to go to Philly. Jeffrey Lurie reached out. The GM at the time, I don't know. Let me know. Reached out to Troy Aikman. He was very well going to be the quarterback of the Eagles, even just for a couple years. That would have been weird. But we did see Randall with a star on his helmet. That was real weird. So, who the hell knows? But Aikman decided to retire after 11 seasons, and he says over 40 concussions. Just think about that. Think about that number. Then you wonder why when you see him, his eyes are glassy. He's probably on medication for the rest of his life, or self-medicated, if you know what I mean. a healing type of medication, if you know what I mean. But Dallas Cowboys went through the quarterback purgatory when Aikman was done. We went through, and I want you guys to put it in the comments, we went through Quincy Carter. We overdrafted him out of Georgia for what, everybody? For need. Because we needed a quarterback, right? We needed a quarterback. Chad Hutchinson. How many Chads did we have? Right? Clint Sterner, Chad Hutchinson. There was another Chad. Put in the comments. I lose track. It wasn't until we stumbled on Tony Romo. Thank you, Sean Payton. Thank you. It wasn't until Tony Romo, an undrafted player who wasn't even offered as much money as another team, to come to Dallas in free agency after the draft. Why? Eastern Illinois. It's got ties to Sean Payton. That's where he went to school and quarterbacked. Dallas, this goes back to Romo coming out, Clemente. Yes, Clemente. Back when Romo came out, Jerry Jones was nickel and diamond shit. Jerry don't mind paying players. He just don't want to lose any sort of negotiation at all. He don't want to lose at anything, and I can respect that on some level. But the reason why they overpaid for Dak, okay? They were hearing the narrative that they don't want to pay a non-white quarterback. In my opinion, maybe that's off base. Remember the whole Jerry Jones in high school when, listen, he was a kid in high school. He was on one side of the line. They had pictures of him during that, when they were bringing the minority kids to the high school for the first time, and there was a big divide. It goes way back with Jerry. Maybe he, but I will say this. You talk to Michael Irvin about Jerry Jones. You talk to Deion Sanders about Jerry Jones. You talk to virtually every athlete, let alone black athlete. They love Jerry. Why? Because he's taking care of them and their family. They've earned it, but he's paid them. Jerry did not want to go through quarterback purgatory again, so he knew he had Dak. He knew he could get to a certain level. Now, they're not progressing, and his injuries have mounted up. It's kind of a bad luck situation. You re-sign Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs goes down with an ACL literally right after, right? Dallas signed Dak Prescott to his first big deal after the bad ankle injury. And they had to. It wasn't a horrible deal. They chose to pay him and then doubled down on it, okay, in this last contract before last year where he's now the highest paid. Still the highest paid. We all thought, oh, well, Joe Burrow, all these guys are going to blow by him and redo their deal, right? Nobody's redid the deal. Josh Allen's taking $5 million less because he's like, what's $5 million? Now, I don't know the guarantees of Josh Allen's contract. Maybe he'll get more in the long run. Put in the comments if you know. But Jerry will pay, and Jerry didn't want to not have a quarterback like Aikman. After Aikman was gone, that period between Aikman and Romo was a disaster. My Eagle fans know who that is. That's the one and only Stan Hochman, ex-Philadelphia writer. It was a disaster. Rest in peace, Stan Hochman. He was a trip on what was the show? Michael Barkan. Anyway, it would come on every night at 5 o'clock, I think, 6 o'clock. Sports night or something. I don't know. Put it in the comments. But yeah, so that's why we paid him what we did. Now, Joe Milton, my guy Dane Brugler has come out. He said he would rate Joe Milton as the 10th best prospect in this year's draft. I find that hard to believe, but I'm not going to sugarcoat what Dane says. That's what Dane says, so we're going to go with it. So Joe Milton has a long way to go to do anything in this league. So we're not here, at least I'm not here, to puff out my chest saying, I just feel really good about the player. He's young. What have I been saying, everybody? If you don't have a stud team that's ready to win right now, meaning right now, And when I say right now, I mean in the top half dozen teams to win the Super Bowl. That's what I mean in my head right now. A lot of teams have a chance to get there. But let's be honest, there's about 5-6 teams who actually have a legitimate chance this year. Based on last year, right? That's how you do it. You base it on the year prior. We all know not every team that was in the playoffs last year is going to be in the playoffs this year. Injury, losing players, all the stuff. What's that? Oh. All this stuff comes into play. So I don't believe we're in that upper echelon as it sits here today. So why not go young? Why not go athletic? Momo. That doesn't mean that Joe Milton III is going to run all over the place. He's on record of saying he could throw the ball 95 yards. All I said was, and I got crapped on by Momo last night, was, well, at the end of a half or at the end of a game, we've seen it just last year. Where the Commanders won a game on a jump ball, where the dude, ex-Cowboy, didn't know what he was doing. Was it ex-Cowboy? The defensive back in the corner, in the end zone. He tipped it up trying to catch the ball. Throw Joe Milton in there. He'll get it to the end zone. No more of that hook and ladder shit. You chuck it in the end zone. If you get Ted McMillan, right? If you get Ted McMillan in the draft, well, he's a jump ball, especially he's a jump ball specialist. So again, there is a place. Whether he's going to be the backup, I don't know. I'm still on record of saying they're going to get one more quarterback. They need 4. They may not draft him. Maybe Riley Leonard or one of these guys goes undrafted and then you pick him up. I'm on record. I like Riley Leonard. I like his mobility. I like his size. Not another 6'5" guy who has mobility. That's where the NFL's at, people. But yes, Dallas is still working out players. I think at this point, you're not going to see a lot of players sign for any kind of money. They're going to sign cheap deals to keep their their comp picks for next year, or they're going to wait till after the draft and fill in around the gaps. You still got a Will Hernandez out there. You still got players out there that could help for any team, not just the Dallas Cowboys. So, again, that's why they signed Dak. They didn't want to not have a quarterback. They didn't trust Trey Lance, obviously. What I do like, I know we're all frustrated that Dallas doesn't have a 4th-round pick this year. I get it. I get the sentiment. But I like that they're not gun-shy of trying again. The last thing you want is a team to miss on a trade or a trade up and then be afraid to do it again. Which is why I warn everybody, do not be afraid of the Michigan football helmet. The Michigan football helmet did nothing to you. As a matter of fact, we have Jordan Lewis. We had Jordan Lewis. Hall of Fame safety. Brian Broaddus wanted Dallas to draft and Bill Parcells fired him. Charles Woodson, Michigan guy. Heisman Trophy winner. Desmond Howard, Michigan guy. Plenty of Michigan guys. Mason Graham this year, right? You got Kenneth Grant, who I really love. Mason Graham. Will Johnson. I'm a little skeptical on Will, but still, Will Johnson. I'm more of a Jahdae Barron guy, but I don't think they're going to draft him. We'll see. Do not get caught up with, oh my God, I don't want a Michigan guy. Just relax. Everybody relax. Take a breath. We got less than 3 weeks before the NFL. Actually, the draft will be over in 3 weeks. We'll be streaming it from home, so stay tuned. But yes, good times. I'm going to try and do my 4.0 later, but I don't know that I'll get that done today. I'm going to really try and do a live stream tonight again, so stay tuned. Maybe it'll be it won't be 2 hours. Maybe it'll be an hour. Maybe a little earlier, maybe 7:30ish. I don't know. Stay tuned. Make sure your bell notifications are on. Hallie Pierce, you won. You chose the Tumblr, the shipping department. Right here.
Why am I the shipping department?
Well, you want me to do it?
No.
I'll have it out in the mail tomorrow. She's playing, Hallie. She's just breaking my stones. That's what they do. But anyway, I'll talk to everybody a little later. Hope your Sunday's going well. If you're working, hope you're almost done. I'll talk to you soon.